So I'm Jerimiah Welch with New Market Design. This is Will Wheaton. He's a Western student up in the Industrial Design program up there. I'm just going to give a quick overview since it looks like we're running behind time. But what our company does is we help companies develop new products and software, specifically products and software that talk to each other. And the project that we've been working on recently is a telepharmacy project. So I'll just give you a quick overview of what telepharmacy is, and then you can take a look at some of our prototypes. But essentially what telepharmacy does is it allows a pharmacist to communicate with all of the people in a hospital over the internet. And when you can do that, then you open up a lot of really exciting opportunities. You can have one pharmacist supervise 6 or 7 small rural hospitals, and they can all come together to share the cost of that pharmacist. You can have one pharmacist supervise several clean rooms where medications are being prepared. This is an example of somebody preparing medication in a clean room and bring down the costs. You can also archive all of that information and go back and determine the exact source of any kind of medication error so that you can prevent it in the future. You can look at trends for hospital networks and all that sort of thing. But essentially, the way the system works is we've got pharmacy technicians and nurses and doctors all working at the hospital. And the doctors and nurses send medication orders to our pharmacist using our software over the internet. The pharmacist uses their experience in medication to approve or deny the medication problems. And then if it's okay to go, they can tell a technician to release it or to prepare it. The second part of the process involves the technician actually preparing the medication. You can see examples of medication preparation happening in these 2 photographs. Things like antibiotics or chemotherapy, any kind of drug that goes into a drip bag that gets injected into a person needs to be prepared in a sterile environment. And that's our primary expertise exists in designing the systems and producing them in small batches so that companies can ramp up their marketing over time. So in the beginning, we help them get through their first 100 to 200 units to really test the market, and that means that we do a lot of stuff like this small batch production. This is and that's the real reason that we're excited to be in this space. Is we bridge that gap between an idea and high-level manufacturing, and that involves a lot of low-volume production, prototyping. This piece was actually printed layer by layer on a machine called an SLA machine, stereolithography, and then it was cast using a silicone mold with 2-part plastic inside of it. We also do a lot of machining for the small parts that exist inside of the components, and we do a lot of off-the-shelf electronics integration so that we don't have the same development costs that you would see in a larger scale project. So we're all about helping companies get a complex product that involves the internet and hardware to market as fast as possible with the lowest amount of money. And any questions?
What is that device you're holding? What does it do?
Well, this is part of this camera right here. I don't have an actual camera to show you because every time we get one built, they sell it. So this is just the top part of the case. This is the case that the actual electronics fit inside of. And it's interesting that small batch production costs quite a bit more per piece than large batch production. As an injected part, this might cost $3 to $5 depending on how good you are negotiating. As a low volume part, this is around $100. So our tooling costs are low, but the per unit costs are higher. But it allows you to make mistakes early in the process, especially in a new market that you don't know what the rules are yet. Telepharmacy has really been around since 2004, and as time goes on, people aren't sure exactly what the most critical things are and what possible technologies could be coming out. Our initial camera that we designed for them was quite large because the technology that went inside it had to be really large. Our next version can be quite a bit smaller because there are some new smaller industrial cameras on the market. And because we didn't invest $150,000 in tooling, we can make that change quickly. So we're about helping companies explore markets that are uncertain where the rules aren't known, and where they want to be able to adapt and change quickly with malleable hardware and software. Any other questions?
Where are these being used right now?
Right now we're in 4 states in Canada. Yeah. And we're also looking at Sweden and one other. Oh, to get people on board? Yeah, there definitely is a training curve. One element that's not shown here, we have a status monitor that shows whenever you need to interact with a pharmacist over the internet. It pops up, says, okay, this person needs help from you. And it's actually, we found, a bit faster than in some conventional systems where you have to go down a hall and find somebody. So the person needs to know when things are required of them. The camera's pretty easy. It's 2 buttons, take a picture, send it to the pharmacist. And the software has a bit more of a learning curve with annotating items, describing anything that may need to be changed or improved. And communicating back and forth in real time on a document. We have real-time document-based chat as well, person-to-person. So we generally go into a hospital, train them for about 2 days, and that can handle 20 to 30 people.
Is it just still images that are being transferred, or live video feeds?
We found that still images were a lot more effective because it condenses 10-minute time frame down into 4 images. So generally, in the case of compounding, you want to know that you've got the right ingredients, that they're mixed in the right proportion, and that they're going to the right person. So generally there's 3 photographs that photograph elements that let people see those 3 things are happening. We do have live video coming because pharmacy regulation is a state-by-state thing, and in certain states, people don't, or legislators don't feel comfortable without a live video link. In that application, we generally use existing video conferencing software. That's something like that.
So is Envision Telepharmacy your client, or is that you?
Envision Telepharmacy is our client. So we're essentially the R&D branch of Envision Telepharmacy.
Okay.
They handle,
By contract.
By contract. So we're definitely 2 distinct operations, and we have a manufacturing contract with them for the next 3 years to produce all of their product, and we are half in on all of the IP, and yeah, they do the marketing. They are a telepharmacy service provider. They came to us essentially, and they had a camera that was just kind of like a camera on a tripod, and it was really hard to clean, and wasn't compatible with chemotherapy agents and things like that. And so we went through, figured out the materials and the systems that would make it all together into making it as simple enough that a technician can just push a picture button and push a send button, and then see that their image is put and sent to the pharmacist. Like getting to that level of simplicity requires a lot of complexity. Okay. Thanks for listening. We have some cards if you'd like to make a connection. I would love to see your friends as well.
What company is working with?
They're in Texas.